Hello, YouTube and X. It's your main man BTM here, bringing you back to BTM Crypto News Network. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and super chat. Just trying to keep the lights on BTM Crypto News Network. So thanks for joining and talking about Franklin Templeton and the Grayscale ETF going live today for XRP. And you can see the price for XRP is pushing up. But let's get to the sponsor and then we'll look at the information for XRP. So thanks for joining. Let's start the screen share. So of course, this is Caleb and Brown. Caleb and Brown is a crypto brokerage that helps with your self-custody and also gives you a one-on-one broker and gives you 24/7 support. So if you're looking for a crypto brokerage that'll help you along your journey and also help you for different things in crypto, you can check out Caleb and Young. The link is in the description. So if you sign up, I think I get like 5% or something, but you still get the same service and more help with your crypto journey. So let's check out a couple of shorts real quick and then we'll get into the news.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing well. Just on a little walk, getting those steps in, doing crypto videos. We have a total of $2.89 trillion in total market cap today. ETFs, though, at market open on the 21st, which was Friday, $294 million. So that has been the first bit of inflows right here into ETFs, which is interesting to see. The biggest news to come out over the weekend, of course, is the Franklin Templeton XRP spot ETF, which is huge because Franklin Templeton has around about $1.3 trillion of assets under management, which is very significant. Also, shout out to Chad right here putting out the facts. Canary to acquire 5 million XRP on Monday. Bitwise 5 million on Monday. Grayscale 25 million on Monday. Franklin Templeton 15 million XRP on Monday. That is a total of 50 million XRP on Monday because these four funds are live to acquire spot XRP on Monday on the New York Stock Exchange. Grayscale alone, their trust for XRP currently has assets under management $11.6 million worth. People are so scared of the now, thinking only about the price today, not in the next couple of months. You can't think like that. Honestly, you'll get wrecked. And especially don't trade with leverage. Bitcoin is back up to 85,000 US dollars. Ethereum sitting at 2,700 US dollars. XRP is back up, not to where we expect it to be, but it is back up to $1.96 US dollars. Solana sitting at 128 US dollars. Dogecoin also getting an ETF as well, I should say, on Monday, 14 cents. Can't believe there's a meme coin that's got an ETF on Wall Street. Crazy times we're living in. Cardano is sitting at 40 cents. We also have XLM at 23 cents. Yes, November 2025 is literally the worst on record. I wonder if this is on purpose. There's a lot of rebalancing going on in portfolios, that's for sure. And we also have all of these XRP ETFs still to come right now. There's only 4 of them that are approved. Thank you to those that have joined EarnCurve, my spot crypto exchange. Upload your documents, KYC, and I will apply a 10% discount to your trading fees, which is literally the cheap.
So shout out to the Wall Street Bull. Next one is a quick Grayscale spot ETF. Let's see what they got to say.
Grayscale Spot XRP ETF trading now live in U.S. Stock Exchange. Grayscale Spot XRP ETF trading now live in U.S. Stock Exchange. Grayscale Spot
And this is the last one. Then we'll look at the crypto bubbles.
Products from Grayscale Investments and Franklin Templeton. Franklin Templeton's product was just approved for listing and carries a management fee of 0.19% of NAV, with the fee waived on the first US $5 billion in assets through May 2026. While specific day one AUM and volume numbers aren't publicly large yet, analysts expect the class of new spot XRP ETFs to attract billions in inflows over time. Estimates range from US $4 billion to US $8 billion within the first year. What could this mean for XRP's price? There are three major possible effects. Demand shock. Institutional money flows into the ETFs mean more XRP is being bought and held. Liquidity improvement. With ETF wrappers, more investors have access, which might reduce discounts or increase valuation. Neutralization or even pressure. If the market expects the ETFs to trigger a big move and it doesn't, or if large holders offset by selling, we could see sideways or even downward pressure. Analysts note that the launch of prior ETFs didn't automatically send the price upward. Bottom line, today's launches mark a milestone, more regulated access to XRP, but day one won't tell the full story. If you're watching XRP, track the AUM growth of these ETFs, their reported inflows and outflows, and how the token behaves in the days ahead. Like and subscribe for updates as this story unfolds. Follow for updates.
So thanks to crypto XRP news today, 589. So this is the crypto bubbles. You can see helium's up 22.3. ZBCN, the payroll processor we know and love, is up 7.8. DMC, which is DeLorean, is up 5.8. Link is up 3.9. Cardano's up 4.1. Alchemy Pay is up 4.5. Stronghold's up 2.3. XPX 6900's up 7.8. Fartcoin's up 23.9. What is this? Canon Network is up 10.1. Solana's up 3.7. Ethereum Classic is up 4.5. TON is up 7.9. Pepe's up 8.2. Powell's up 9.1. Pith is up 6.4. Turbo's up 9.8, 9.9 actually. Radian's up 5%. Render's up 5.3. Arch Block is up 6%. Jupiter's up 4.8. Dodge is up 4.5. Ethereum is up 5.5, up 0.7 on the hour, up 0.1 on the week, down 25% for the month, and 14-year, 12.4 on the year, up to 2,971. It's probably going to pass over the 3,000 mark again today. World Mobile's up 5.2. Ordinari's up 5.2. XLM is up 3.3. Hashflow is up 8.4. Caspa's up 8.2. Up 0.8 on the hour, 4.4 on the week, 20.1 on the month, and 71.5 on the year. Year's up 6.5. SUI is up 11.3. Bears up 4.5. AI Tech is up 7.1. Bitcoin is up 0.2 on the hour, 1.5 on the day, still down 3.1 on the week, 20.6 on the month, and 9.2 on the year to 88,639. So it is starting to bounce back. Ingest is up 6.7. Ondo's up 4.5. Algorand's up 2.3. Gala's up 3.1. Osmosis is up 1.4. Swarms is up 3.1. Solana is up 3.5 on the day. Unchanged on the hour, up 6% on the week, 29.3 on the month, and 46% down, 23.9 on the month. Down 46% on the year to 137.39. not financial advice, but for entertainment purposes. Buy the dip. For the hour, flares down 0.2. For the day, it's up. For the hour, it's up 0.2. For the day, it's up 2.3. For the week, it's down 0.3. For the month, it is down 20.3. And for the year, it is down 40.2. So XPR is up 6.1 on the day, down 0.6 on the hour, down 1.6 for the week, down 24.8 on the month, and 261 on the year. So back to XRP, the token of the live stream is up 0.7 on the hour, up 7.4 on the day. Let's go. For the week, it's up 4.5. For the month, it is down 15.1. And for the year, it is up 51.5. So it's actually doing better than Ethereum. I told you guys it's probably going to flip Ethereum at some point. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Put a fire emoji in the chat if you know where it's at. So we'll close this out. So this is a article from Yahoo Finance. XRP price primed for 22% breakout as Grayscale XPR ETF launches on Monday. XRP's primed for 22% breakout, says Lacey, research analyst at BitGet Wallet. Zhao argued that Monday's launch of crypto asset manager Grayscale new XRP ETF will pave the way for a price rally. A breakout could target 250 and beyond, supported by spot ETF catalyst. That would translate to XRP's price surging 22% above its current level. Zhang isn't alone in being bullish on XRP. Others have told DL News that XRP's price is well positioned to surge past as much as 21% to $2.75. The third largest crypto key driver include actual ETF trading volumes, stablecoin reserves following into XRP. Grayscale joins a flood of XRP ETFs washing over Wall Street. As of November 21st, the Depository Trust and Clearing Company pipeline shows listing from Grayscale, Franklin Templeton, 21 shares, Bitwise Pro shares, and Coin shares. Number 13, traders poured nearly 250 million into Canary Capital spot XRP ETF launch day, marking the largest crypto ETF debut in 2025. The US spot ETF has enjoyed 422.6 million in investors since Canary Capital's blockbuster debut November 13th, despite the broader market sell-off. In the same time period, Bitcoin ETF saw 5.2 billion with a B in sales. DeFi Llama data shows in short-term ETFs will signal demand and clearer on-ramp for institutions. Lawrence, CEO of crypto investment platform. The arrival of multiple regulated products broaden liquidity, lowers custody friction, and makes XRP a move investors assets class if inflows persist. Canary Capital CEO echoed the optimism for XRP ETFs in August, predicting that the fund would attract $5 billion in investments in the first few months of trading. But despite strong launch momentum, the ETF inflows, XRP's price is down more than 40% from its all-time high in July of $3.56, trading at $2.07 at the time of recording. To be sure, XRP is still up 40% over the year, outperforming Bitcoin. Read that again. to be sure, XRP is still up 40% on the year, outperforming Bitcoin. Ripple, the firm that developed XRP cryptocurrency, has also made notable moves this month. On December 5th, the firm tripled the valuation to $40 billion following a $500 million strategic funding round led by Citadel Securities, Fortress Investment Groups, Pantera Capital, Galaxy Digital, David Howard, and Marshall Vase. At that time, Ripple announced a partnership of MasterCard and Gemini to enable stablecoin payments for credit card transactions. Major corporations win that position XRP deeper into the financial rails. So I actually put this in the description as well. You can check that article out. This is CoinDesk. Franklin Templeton joins XRP ETF race, calling it foundational to global finance. With XRPX debuting on the New York Stock Exchange, Extra, Franklin becomes the largest financial heavyweight betting on crypto's future in global payments. Franklin Templeton launched its XRP exchange traded fund ETF, the XRP ETF Trust XRPX, on the New York Stock Exchange Monday, giving investors regulated access to the XRP token. The move placed one of Wall Street's oldest institutions in the growing field of XRP fund issuers, which already includes Bitwise, Grayscale, and Canary Capital. The launch expands crypto's lineup that now manages ETFs tied to Bitcoin EZBC, Ethereum EZET, XRP XRPZ, and its diversified digital asset fund EZPZ, offering traditional investors exposure to a broader range of crypto within requiring self-custody. The rollout marks a significant turn in XRP's future. Just 5 years ago, the token faced massive delistings from major exchanges after the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, as unregistered security since 2013. That lawsuit settled in August 2025 when Ripple agreed to pay the SEC $125 million settlement without admitting wrongdoing. Since then, the interest in XRP has rebounded, particularly as regulators have begun to outline clearer rules for the digital asset. Franklin Templeton ETF is part of the broader trend of institutional players entering the crypto space through regulated investment vehicles. Bitcoin's innovation, blockchain's innovation, is driving fast-growing businesses, and digital asset tokens like XRP serves powerful incentive mechanisms to help bootstrap decentralized networks and align stakeholders' interest, said Roger, head of digital assets at Franklin Templeton. Within a diversified digital portfolio, we view XRP as a foundational building block. XRPZ provides regulated custody, digital transparency, and liquidity without operational complexity of holding digital tokens directly. The ETF structure lets institutional and real investors gain XRP exposure through brokerage accounts with daily pricing of SEC oversight. Grayscale's ETF also launched Monday. Crypto asset manager Bitwise launched its XRP ETF last week and saw roughly 118 million in inflows. Bitwise CEO Hunter said, okay, that's weird. I guess the article got cut off, but that is on CoinDesk. So this article is New York Stock Exchange approves Grayscale Dodge and XRP ETF clearing launch for Monday. The New York Stock Exchange has approved a listing for Grayscale's Dodge and XRP exchange traded fund, teeing up both to launch Monday. New York Stock Exchange, a subsidiary of the exchange, filed with securities and exchange commissions on Friday to clarify its approval for listing and registration of the Grayscale's XRP Trust ETF and the Grayscale's Dogecoin Trust ETF. Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric posted New York Stock Exchange approval on X on Sunday and said Grayscale's ETF tied to Chainlink will follow in the next week or so. Grayscale's Dogecoin ETF, GDodge, approved for listing on the New York Stock Exchange, scheduled to begin trading Monday. Their ETF spot is also launching on Monday, said G-Link is coming as well week after. I think Grayscale Dodge ETF approved for listing on the New York Stock Exchange, scheduled to begin trading on Monday. Their XRP spots also launching on Monday. The G-Link's coming soon, the week after. Signing off by the New York Stock Exchange marks the final approval needed for Grayscale's Dogecoin Dodge ETF to go live, one of many ETFs tied to speculative cryptocurrencies that asset managers have bought in the market recently. Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF is a conversion of the firm's existing trust into the ETF that tracks the price of Dodge, tipped by the ETF's first day volume hits around 11 million. XRP ETFs flood the market. This Grayscale ETF is expected to launch alongside competing products from Franklin Templeton, while XRP ETF from Wisdom Tree is also waiting launch. The launch of Canary Capital's ETF XRPC on November 13 marked the first spot XRP ETF inside the US. The fund got off to a solid start, fetching over 250 million of inflows during the first trading week. Meanwhile, Bitwise 21 Shares and CoinShares also launched XRP ETFs this month as competing projects flooded the market at the end of the U.S. government shutdown. The SEC's loosening its checks on cryptos ETFs. Despite ETFs typically being bullish for the underlying asset, XRP has declined around 18% since the start of November, according to data from CoinGecko. So I'll also put this article in the description, and you can see XRP actually is up to $2.22. I think it was $1.95 yesterday. I think it got up to $2 yesterday, but it's up to $2.77 today. Market cap 133.8 billion with a B, up 7.13%. 24-hour trading volume is 5.6 billion, up 50.7%. What up, Yazim? Peace, BTM. Hope you had a great weekend. Thank you. And yes, I did. So keeping it moving, wanted to check this real quick, and then we'll go over to X. So this is the crypto market as a whole. And you can see, wow, it's back to 3 trillion. The market cap for the market, it's up 2.9% to 3.04 trillion. You see it's back in the green. CMC 20 is $189, up 2.41%. The crypto market is still in extreme fear. So definitely a good time to get in. Altcoin season is 23. out of 100, getting closer to Bitcoin dominance. And the average crypto RSI is getting back to overbought from oversold. So you can see the shift happening. XRP is $2.22. Ethereum is 2,972, and Bitcoin is 88,624. So let's go over to Twitter or X and see what's going on. This is bridges going parabolic will 10x past XRP. Gotta keep it moving. I thought that was XRP. It looks like they're advertising something else. Explosive news. Franklin Templeton Grayscale just took XRP to Wall Street. It's happening. Boom. XRP Franklin Templeton plus Grayscale Spot ETF are live on the New York Stock Exchange. It's happening. So this is GXRP and XRPZ. So this is Grayscale and Franklin Templeton ETFs. Just hit the New York Stock Exchange. This is multiple XRP, $2.19. Spot ETFs are now live. And guess what? They only need 65% to reach a new all-time high. Let that sink in. What up, Silver Days? What's going on, fam? What up? Yassine, what's up? What's going on? So this is David Schwartz. Implies that XRP will become the world's reserve currency. I hope so. Remember on December 5th, the real token built on XRP Ledger will be listed on a central exchange. Massive capital inflows are anticipated as real token aims to tap into the global real estate market. Real token has potential to jump from 0.06 to a higher price. And this is
Well, ask that.
get it.
Do you
Sure.
believe that there can be
Out.
two existing world reserve currencies to simultaneously exist? I do, and I think that could happen. I think it's quite realistic that a lot of the world is just done with the dollar as the reserve currency. And I think that there's a lot of places that are willing to try something else. And one of my scenarios, and I don't think it's going to play out quickly, but like one of my wild case success scenarios for a digital asset is if countries start to realize that the US dollar is not going to be the reserve currency forever. Other things are going to be the reserve currency. And the same thing that we saw with banks. Like people, when we started selling software to banks, people would say to me, why would a bank use something that like you guys were selling them when they could use something that was like made by banks? And what they didn't realize is that, only like 10 banks in the country, on the planet, are Deutsche Bank, HSBC, Credit Suisse, JP Morgan Chase, like the ones who would build a system that the entire planet would run on. For the rest of the banks, that's 6,000 smaller banks, those are their biggest, strongest competitors. Those are the entities they hate the most. They would not want to use the system built and maintained by them because it's going to be biased in favor of them, their biggest and strongest competitors. And I think the same thing could happen to nations. Like every nation would love for their currency to be the world reserve currency. That's helped the U.S., that's grown the U.S. economy, quote unquote, unfairly by leaps and bounds for decades. And every other country would be like, yeah, we'd like to have the world be the world reserve currency. But the only countries that could possibly pull it off is the U.S. holding its position, maybe the EU, maybe Russia, maybe one or two others. But realistically, most countries know that if there's going to be a new world reserve currency that's a country's currency, it's not going to be them. And so they might actually prefer a currency that nobody can control to one that's controlled by their largest geopolitical rivals. And so that's like what I think is the biggest possible success scenario for digital assets. If these countries are like, okay, well, the US dollar can't hold on forever. but it's not going to be our currency because no one's going to want to repeat the U.S. dollar. Nobody but the EU wants the EU to replace the dollar, right? Nobody but Russia wants the ruble to replace the dollar. Nobody but China wants the yuan to replace the dollar. So maybe they could settle on a currency that nobody could control rather than one controlled by their most powerful geopolitical rival. So if you want a success scenario, that's the one that I think is the most likely.
But the money question is, how do you get everybody to agree?
Well, I mean, they might agree if the alternative is that their geopolitical rivals force some new replacement for the dollar that's not, if they just replace, the old boss with a new boss. If the choice is no boss, if that happens to make a bunch of cryptocurrency people rich, I don't think they're going to see that as too much of a minus.
That's good.
Yeah. It was great talking to you guys.
I got one question. This one.
Well,
Sorry, David.
Thank you, David.
Kind of
That's weird, but wouldn't it be easier just to use a stable coin instead of creating a actual reserve? You could use the stable coin and trade it among the different funds and just cash it out back to the fiat currency. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let me see. I was looking for something, but we'll go back. So this is Grayscale. Introducing the Grayscale XRP ETF ticker, now trading with 0% fees from Grayscale, the world's largest crypto-focused asset manager. Gains exposure to XRP at $2.19, the third largest digital asset involving innovation and global payments. Available at your brokerage today. Just in top list of ISO 200 tokens on CoinMarketCap. It's actually just showing one. That's weird. Grayscale and Franklin Templeton XRP go live. So this is at $40 on, I'm not sure which this is. It says American Express at $40.34. And Franklin Templeton at $22.72. So this is breaking news. Where breaking news, 1.5 trillion Franklin Templeton and 40 billion Grayscale spot XRP ETFs are now live in the New York Stock Exchange. Let the trading begin. So this is Franklin Templeton. That must have been earlier. And this is Grayscale. Levi, bullish. The U.S. banks are now officially permitted to hold XRP. We view XRP as a foundation building block. Blockchain innovation is driving fast-growing businesses, and digital asset tokens like XRP serve as a powerful incentive mechanism that helps bootstrap decentralized networks and align stakeholders' interests. Roger, head of digital assets at FTI Global, within a diverse digital portfolio, we view XRP as a foundational building block. XRPZ provides regulated custody, daily transparency, and liquidity without the operational complexity holding the token directly. So that's probably the biggest point. You don't have to buy the token. You can just buy the spot and you don't have to worry about self-custody. So I suspect it's going to bring a lot of people into picking that token up. Stephanie's crypto. Every major crypto saw outflows this week except XRP. 89.3 million inflows in a red week. So you can see Bitcoin was down 1,269. Ethereum down 586, multi-assets 35.9, Solana down 156.2, XRP up 89.3, Zcash was flat. That's weird. Litecoin up 3.3, short Bitcoin 19, Sui down 5, Cardano up 0.1, others 1%. That's weird. So this is Grayscale, Franklin Templeton launching XRP ETFs today. It's not random. Wall Street never builds pipes unless they plan to pump liquidity through them. The accumulation era is officially over. So shout out to Grayscale and Franklin Templeton. History is exactly repeating, so buckle up. And this is 2017. We don't get the top. In fact, it was past 0.04. And here we are, 1, 2, 3, and the fourth, and then a leg up. Now we're on the fourth, getting ready for that leg up. So let me know, what do you think XRP it will hit today or this week? Lock for another XRP ETF. Franklin Templeton launched an XRP ETF today with access to over 13,000 advisory firms managing trillions in client assets. JP Morgan estimates XRP ETFs could attract 8 billion with a B, and Franklin Templeton brings conservative institutional credibility to the asset. Franklin Templeton manages over 1.5 trillion and offers mainstream wealth platform direct XRP exposure without custody or operational risk. So they keep hitting at this without custody, which I guess would bring people in because they don't want to get a wallet and lose it or have a problem with their wallet. I understand that because I've been having crazy issues with the wallet. So I guess it would be definitely a better option than trying to do it yourself because there's a serious learning curve for self custodies. But let me know what you guys think. You think it's better to own a token or to get the ETFs? I was talking to a guy and he mentioned, why would you do both? And I was like, I want to test the market on both sides. The ETF market plus I already have the tokens. I'm not going to sell the tokens, right? I'm just going to continue to hold and diamond hand. Recently, a leak report claims JP Morgan could be allocating over 7.5% of its portfolio into XRP. Say it ain't so. December 5th is shaping up to be a key moment. Real tokens built on the XRP ledger are expecting to debut on centralized exchanges, potentially expanding the global asset and increasing daily trading volume. Let's see what this is showing us. It didn't help. So this is JP Morgan Mass Art XRP 7.5% fund. Really? I didn't even know that. Let's see here, go back to the post. I definitely didn't post that. Franklin Templeton within a diverse digital portfolio will view XRP as a foundational building block. Shout out to Jake the Ripper. Higher at $2.75. Currently, we are at $2.23. Drum roll, please. While this updates, let's go back over to CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap is showing up 7.4. Live Coin Watch is showing 7.5 to $2.23. Let's go. Do you think it's going to hit the all-time high this week? Let me know in the comments. So this is perfect 219. Only people who didn't sell their XRP share this post will like this post. And this is a Phoenix with an XRP sign on it. My 5X conviction bags for the following cycle. Ondo will lead the RWA rally to 50 cents. Render will lead the AI, DP, and GPU compute. H-bar will reach its previous all-time high. So shout out to Jamar 1987. Aster will print some astronomical gains. Zcash will fly to $1,300, please. But be cool. $2.19, and Solana will replace Ethereum 2,946, and Binance 864. Bitcoin 2.17 million. I'm not even sure what that number is, actually. Was that 170,000? Bold. We'll go back over here. Breaking news, Grayscale XRP $2.19 ETF. How are they doing this? How do they tag these tokens? I want to tag mine in here, actually. How are they doing this? That's weird. Officially launches on the New York Stock Exchange. So how do they tag these? Or just a tag? How are they doing this? Just trying to see. I don't see anything happening, so I don't know. I think that's pretty cool, though. Why? Zubek Revolution crypto payments. So this is getting back to the ZBIC articles. So at $2.23, we'll go over to CoinMarketCap. Why is XRP up today? XRP rose 7.1% over 24 hours, outperforming the crypto market at 2.1% and reversing a 15% 30-day decline. Key drivers: ETF momentum, Grayscale Franklin XRP ETFs launch, attracting 89.3 million inflows versus outflows for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Whale activities, mixed signals. 70 million XRP moved to Coinbase, but long-term holders accumulated 7.7 billion over 3 months. Technical breakout. Price exited descending channel, targeting $2.50 resistance. The ETF launch surge, bullish impact over Grayscale's GXRP and Franklin Templeton XRPX launched ETFs on the New York Stock Exchange, or ORA, on November 24th, providing regulatory access to institutional investors. XRP attracted 89.3 million inflows last week, while Bitcoin, Ethereum saw 1.4 billion. What this means: the ETF reduced selling pressure from Ripple's escrow, releasing a signal institutional validation. Historically, ETFs approved Bitcoin and Ethereum have preceded multi-month rallies. Watch the SEC's response to pending spot XRP ETF applications from Bitwise, 21 shares. Decision expected by October 25, which has already passed. I'm not even sure what they mean by that. Whales move, sentiment shifts mixed impact. Overall, whale move 33.6 million XRP, 70 million to Coinbase. Typically a bearish signal. However, XRP's price rose 7% despite this, suggesting the market interpreted it as a profit taking rather than panic selling. What this means, accumulation by other whales holding a million plus XRP addresses hit record highs, offset short-term selling pressure. Large holders added 7.7 billion in XRP August 2025, often a precursor to a rally. Watch exchange net flow data. Sustained outflows would signal renewed accumulation. Technical rebound, bullish impact. XRP broke above its 7-day SMA at $2.06 and the apex descending channel from July's $3.70 peak. The MACD histogram turned positive from 0.22 to 0.12, signaling weakening bearish momentum. This means a close above the $2.26 50% Fibonacci retracement could trigger a run towards 250. RSI at 38.36 leaves room for upside before overbought conditions. $2.40 to $2.50 resistance, a break here would confirm a bullish reversal targeting $3. XRP rally combines XT ETF driven institutional interest, whale accumulation, and technical momentum, while the ETF news is clear catalyst. Sustained gains depending on holding 2.6 support and a broader crypto sentiment recovering from the extreme fear. CMC Fear and Greed Index at 12. Key watch. Can XRP dedupe or decouple from Bitcoin's volatility? Monitor ETF's inflow trends and Ripple's Q4 infrastructure expansion plans, custody, licensing, and stablecoin. Let's see here. Guess we can check coin market cap. What's going on over here? Crypto ETFs just bled 1.3 billion weekly outflows, capping a brutal 4-week spread, totaling 4.9 billion, the third worst since 2018, a 36% AUM plunge. Bitcoin's ETPs took the biggest hit at 1.27 billion out, with BlackRock's IBIT leading the spot ETFs at 1.2 billion exodus, while Ethereum saw 859 drained globally. Yet glints of hope, XRP's funds scooped up 89 million inflows. Think of Bitwise new US spot ETF, and Friday flipped positive 258 million net buys. Year over date inflows strong at 44.4 billion. Volatility is the name of the game, but shorts on Bitcoin are piling up. 119 AUM surge. XRP is trying to rebound, but the assets remain in a downtrend. During the recent flash crash, it's extremely hard to buy, yet XRP perfectly tested the green zone, just as the strategies expects. For now, it looks more like technical bounce. Fear is still present, momentum is weak, and the market structure hasn't shifted. A true trend reversal will require will require reclaiming key levels. And yes, Yassine, I'm waiting for that announcement. Somebody said Zebek should have a big announcement this week, which was today, yesterday, or maybe tomorrow. So I'm sticking around trying to figure out what is going on. But we will see. Maybe something will happen today or tonight, or maybe early tomorrow, or probably, yeah, it's got to be before Wednesday, right? XRP technical outlook. Familiar bullish structure emerging. XRP is beginning to mirror one of its previous bullish formations, with price reacting precisely from a key demand zone and maintaining strength above it. As long as the support continues to hold, the chart structure favors upward continuation as a push towards the $3.60 region becomes a highly reasonable target based on historic behavior and current momentum. If you like it, I love it. Let's go. XRP continues to drift lower, though a small rebound from the 1.28 to the $1.94 demand zone suggests a brief relief move. The broader outlook for XRP stays bearish as the price action and diverse still favor sellers. Key resistance sits at $2.11 to $2.32, where a pullback could resume the downtrend, while a clean break above the $2.32 would challenge the bias and open room towards $2.58 and a $2.87% resistance zone. Let's see here what's going on TraderView. So we're looking through these articles on CoinMarketCap. XRP looks like it's getting ready to make a real move. Momentum tightening up, buyer stepping up, and the chart starting to hint at something bigger brewing. If the pressure finally releases, it could get explosive. Buzz that the button to stay updated. Let's see if we can go back and like this, guys. I didn't literally forget to do that. Oh, so we already have them. So let's see, where were we here? I already read that one. Bullish, Grayscale, and Dodge ETFs will bring massive volume. I'm struggling to monetize my content on X. Okay, I don't know what this is even talking about. Not what we're looking for. XRP's downtrend is aggressive and confirmed repeated resistance failures at the $2.10 means the path is clear for a steep drop. The market is setting sights on $1.70. That must have been an old article because I think they did break that and pushed up. Let's see here if we can go to the charts. Let's see, XRP. That was weird. XRP. Market cap, no. Is this its spot? So you can see here, XRP has been trending up on the 15-minute chart. RSI is 81.6, getting to the overbought, but we're bullish and we're building volume on the 15-minute chart. Also on the 5-minute chart, it's bearish. See, we're losing volume and it's coming down. RSI is 70.1. RSI based moving average is 69.6. We did 15-minute, 45-minute chart. See, we're stepping up. Green candles. RSI is in the 80s. We're building volume and it's bullish. See reds over blue on the 45-minute, on the 2-hour, very bullish. We're building volume. RSI is 75.1. RSI based moving average is 62.2. On the 4-hour chart, it's also bullish. See, bullish, the blue is here. We are building volume. RSI is 70.8. RSI based moving average is 53.8. And there's green candles on the 4-hour and on the day. It should be a pretty big green candle. We'll zoom out a little bit. So this is the last big candle. And July had one here in October, and one that came right back down in November. So we'll see how it plays out. But if we're looking for this was here. So the rally started in July at the $1.86 and ran all the way up to $3.46. What was this? This is July 22nd through June 22nd to July 18th. So it might be a Christmas rally forming, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. Yeah, I see we have not heard nothing about the ZBIC app yet. I'm at work laughing, enjoying ZBIC and XRP news. What up, Phantom Beats? Let's see here. Still trying to break above that. I think he said $2.25. We're at the $2.23. We'll go back to the 5-minute chart. On the 5-minute chart, looks like things are pretty flat right now. See if we can kind of look at this a little bit. Make these candles a little bigger. So it came up on the 5-minute chart. Currently sitting at that 00223. RSI is 70.8. RSI base moving average 69.8. And looks like it's bearish. The red is over blue, and we're losing volume here on the MACD. So we'll have to see how it plays out today. The good things about crypto is it's going to keep going all day and all night. We might need to pop in and make another video later today. Let me know what you guys think. I'm definitely going to do a XRP live, a ZBIC live. Maybe we'll hear something about the super app later today or do an announcement. But checking ZBIC or XRP real quick. I mean, a ZBIC announcement. Supposed to get an announcement earlier, 20 seconds ago. Top 3 coins for December.
ETF is expected to launch on December. Pay attention and listen. We have some massive breaking news. The CME Group XRP Spot ETF and the Solana Futures ETF is expected to launch on December 15th. There's 3 coins I'm paying attention to right now. The first one is obvious. It is XRP. We just saw ISO 222 go live the other day. All of these ETFs flowing in for XRP. I believe long-term XRP is going to go absolutely insane. The second one is Solana. After this news, it is one of the better performing assets today, up 3%. I am paying attention to Solana and projects built on its ecosystem. And the third and final one is Rismus CTO, and here's why. You guys remember Rismus from last year? This thing went on a generational run, almost hitting a $100 million market cap. The Rismus team is back this year. They announced they have over $1 million in funding with some of the biggest KOLs in this space backing this project. This thing is absolutely ripping right now, already 2x from when I called it in my Telegram. You can join in less than 5 seconds in the link in my bio right here. This is not
Yeah, I don't know about the Rich Magic one, but we'll see. But they always slick try to throw some coin, try to shield some coin in there on the announcement. It's getting kind of out of control, actually. Some of the hardest working guys on the incoming Clarity Act said that everything they do at Ripple have its wait, have it have at its center probably nothing. Okay, that didn't make any sense actually. Sage top for utility conviction. Yeah. Well, found its scary bottom at $1.85 a few days ago, and now it's lifting off. A detailed review of trading week up to November 30th. Really? See what's going on here. ZBCN and XRP. Based on reports from ABC News, NBC News, and RSBN, President Trump scheduled to sign an executive order on AI regulation at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, what's that to do with the price of tomatoes in China? I don't even understand that one. But buying, love XRP, but buying Link at 13 right now feels like buying XRP in October. The chart says it all. Let's see, check out the top real quick, see if there's anything interesting. No. Grayscale exec Kristen Lynch says GPR X is designed to give investors simple, efficient exposure to XRP. More analysis. Hit the like button if you're still holding XRP. So yeah, not a lot going on here. Bullish U.S. banks are now officially permitted to hold XRP. New custody. Cody Carbone says more U.S. states are providing to allow tax payments. XRP isn't just a digital asset; it's becoming infrastructure.
System.
Doing tax
Well, it'll be
payments for
huge.
XRP.
See this at the state level as
Yeah.
well. I mean,
Yeah.
we've already talked about the municipal bonds in New Hampshire. I think you're going to see more states start to replicate this. Can you pay your state and local taxes through Bitcoin, through XRP, through Ethereum? I think this is going to be, it's a
Gonna be
copycat government system. Well, it'll be huge.
Okay, so all right.
See this at the state level as
Yeah.
well. I mean,
Yeah.
we've already talked about the municipal bonds in New Hampshire. I think you're going to see more states start to replicate this. Can you pay your state and local taxes through Bitcoin, through XRP, through Ethereum? I think this is going to be, it's a
Gonna be
copycat government system. Well, it'll be huge.
Well, that is huge. It's going to allow you to pay taxes using XRP or Bitcoin. Let me know what you guys think about that. 150 million XRP on the move. Ripple doesn't hit 317 million unless something big happens behind the scenes. Whales know, Ripple knows, the blockchain doesn't lie. Strap in. I'm just trying to see anything of notable value here. Wait, what was this? Okay. Just loudly shouting, let's go in the middle of gym class. Not because the weights, but because XRP charts finally showing some green candles. Now everyone thinks I'm a gym maniac. Parties are important. So yeah, not a lot of news other than the ETFs going live and the price pumping, and a lot of technical analysis. If you're still holding or haven't sold, click the like button. We're looking for any other quick little videos here. Don't see much going on. Guess we can check X real quick, or YouTube real quick. See what's going on. Then we'll shut it down for the day because we do another video with ZBC in later. So let's see what's going on here. See if there's any videos that are small. Most of these are live streams and full-on videos. It looks like everybody's talking about XRP today. Let's see here. XRP bottom boom 100x. That's from yesterday. See if we can go. And who's not talking about XRP? You can wrong one. Looking for update date. If there's anything of mass importance today. Institutional investors have to switch to XRP. Let's see what Jake's talking about. And this guy. Let's see. Maybe this AI, but this probably not even a real person. Looking for a short video. Where was this?
I'm confident that they need a huge amount of demand all at one time to push the price of XRP to where it needs to be for them to use it. Like, that's the only way this works. Like, everybody's like, flip the switch and utility and all these. None of that works unless there's enough liquidity in the token. Okay.
Many people are asking you about the rise in the crypto market. Why is the volume itself can't even start to use the token until there's enough liquidity here. They will use the ETFs to do that. They will use the exchanges being illiquid to drive demand for XRP to push the price higher also. Both of those things. Those are the two things that are going to drive huge amounts of demand. I'm confident that they need
other financial institutions are having conversations about their strategy with Bitcoin. And part of that strategy could be just to walk away. That sent chills up my spine. I don't know about you, but wow. And remember, he's like, he accidentally said crypto and then he corrected himself to say Bitcoin, right? He's saying, we'll walk away from crypto. I mean, Bitcoin. So they're specifically talking about the problems that Bitcoin has. Quantum computing is around the corner. Right? How is Bitcoin going to be quantum resistant? Can Bitcoin withstand all of this actual, like you know, when you start to flood the market, right? You kind of making up all of these things that could happen, this and that. Bitcoin has a lot of issues with it, right? Who created it, right? Who's Satoshi? Who controls that million Bitcoin worth over $100 billion? We're not quite over 100 billion right now, right? What could happen to Bitcoin in the future? I think there's a lot of uncertainty here, right? Because Bitcoin is just a store of value. I'm using the words that Jack Mallers, Vanek, and maybe other financial institutions
step ahead of the rest of the market. Well, in this video I'm going to clarify what's happening in the cryptocurrency market, why XRP is going to be the king within the utility market, and what is really causing the market to currently recover. Because it's true that ETFs have just been approved for the XRP token, but what's behind Bitcoin's recovery? What's behind Ethereum's recovery? What's behind the global market recovery? Well, in this video I'm going to explain why the crypto market is improving right now and why XRP is one step ahead, which is also notable with that 7.55%, while the rest of the market, well, is recovering, but not as much, right? Like the XRP token. Look, we have three main reasons today. Three main reasons. Okay, let's say three global reasons that affect the entire market. Then there's one specifically for the XRP token. Well, first I want to show you the other 2022 ISOs with XVG at plus 8.5%, XDC plus 4.3, Algorand in green, ADA Cardano, Velo, Yoda. The only one that's in red right now is the Ether Bar token. The rest of the market is recovering. Okay, three main reasons. The stock market is currently making a good recovery, an upward trend within the stock market. US stocks are currently extending gains. In recent days we've seen, well, instability within the stock market. Well, today we have gains, with the Nasdaq 100 up 2.6%. Why? Because there's geopolitical stability. Look, President Trump has confirmed that he's going to travel to China. President Trump officially accepts the invitation to visit Beijing, China in April. Okay, why? Look, we've already seen two main reasons. The first is because there's a stock market that supports the crypto market, because when the stock market goes up, the crypto market goes up too. We see that. Look, why is the stock market going up? Not only because Donald Trump has accepted Xi's invitation to visit him in China in April, but because the probability of a rate cut is getting higher and higher. Look, right now we have a 75% probability of a rate cut in December, so when the probability of a rate cut increases, the cryptocurrency market is also stimulated. So the stock market goes up mainly because there are going to be a rate cut, in addition to the fact that President Trump meets with Chinese President Xi in April. So, geopolitical stability, okay, between Trump and Xi, between the United States and China. On the other hand, we see how the stock market is also extending gains, but because there are rate cuts, mainly there will be a rate cut in December. And the third point, okay? The third point is because I also published it this morning on X and I said it in a video. I said that the Federal Reserve has injected $4.75 trillion. Here you see it. It also came with its corresponding explanation, right? That the Fed has injected liquidity again via repos, and that in this graph we saw how the overnight Treasury repurchase operations by the Federal Reserve were shown, and that, well, in the end, it is liquidity that is entering the system. Okay, what does this mean? Well, here you have it, that the banks need money quickly and the Fed is injecting emergency liquidity, okay? Each peak indicates tension in the financial system. Each peak indicates tension in the system because liquidity needs to be injected. So, this is very important because in the end, it is liquidity that also enters the cryptocurrency market. Wall Street enters. Today coincided with the launch of two important ETFs for the XRP token, that of Franklin Templeton and that of Grayscale, and that of Bitwise is also doing very well today. But as I said, these three reasons, rate cuts, President Trump's meeting with China in April is also positive, and in this case the liquidity injection of $4.75 billion that the United States Federal Reserve has made today, and more liquidity injections are expected in the coming weeks. This, in the end, if we add the direct reason for the XRP token that ETFs are sweeping Wall Street. Look, the Bitwise ETF is up plus 14.5%. The Canary ETF is up plus 14.3%. Look at all that the ETFs are achieving. The Grayscale ETF is the latest, well, the penultimate, right? It is quite dormant, but the XRP token ETFs are
I'm trying to figure out. I just seen this link. Says XRP, or is it xpmarket.com? There's no R there. XP Market. xpmarket.com. Let's see. We can pull that up real quick. xpmarket.com. Is that what that was? Okay, we found another one. xpmarket.com. Let's see. Was it xpmarket.com? ETFs. Oh, they got an ETF tracker. Okay, let's see ETF tracker. Let's see what happens here. That's weird. Okay, there we go. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Let's go to this video real quick from Levi.
So the XRP Grayscale ETFs are set to begin trading today, but here is what nobody is telling you. If we look at the previous Franklin Templeton ETF that was launched on November 13th, following this launch, we didn't just have one negative trading day following on XRP's price, but we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 8 consecutive red days following the announcement of the previous ETF. So my question to you guys, is this time going to be similar, or are we actually going to get a rally? Me and my community, my Discord, can tell you exactly what is going to be taking place following.
So what up, Yazin? Why you didn't tell me about the XRP XP market? What is that? Yazin wallet is great. That's a wallet? I just like the display. I don't know about the wallet, but I might check it out as well. We can see what's in the wallet. So XRP, Bitwise is $25. XRPX is $24. XRPC is 24. Grayscale. Okay. XRP is Bitwise. XRPX is Franklin Templeton. Canary is XRPC. Amplify is XRP ETF. Osprey. I picked up some of the Osprey when it first came out. XRPR. That's up 16%. Bitwise up 16%. Grayscale, no numbers because I think they just came out, but let me know. I've mentioned the Zyman wallet before. So what else is in the Zyman wallet? Yazin. Is Stronghold here by any chance? I'm looking for somewhere. Are you buy it here? Might be a fan. Stronghold's mission. I guess you can't buy it here. But no worries there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs. So we are live with the XRP ETF today. What the freak is this? This is not even in English. Gonna pass on that boy. I guess let's finish this video and then we'll call it a day. How long left in this video?
really
Couple
making
minutes. We'll play this
a
guy.
lot of money. And here we see how Bitwise, I've said it before, is
Everything kind of unfolds here towards the end of the
surpassing
year.
Franklin Templeton by almost $5 million, which is really not a small thing that Bitwise is doing. And look at Franklin Templeton, and it was going to be the biggest. At the moment, the stock market has not finished yet. It has not closed yet, but the numbers are very good. A total volume that reaches $75 billion, 75,000, okay? And tomorrow there are more ETFs. I've said it before. So, if you ask me, these are the reasons why the crypto market is currently recovering, not an upward trend. We are recovering at the moment. We can attribute this recovery to the factors that we have indicated before. And because XRP recovers more than the rest, as I said, because of the ETFs, which are the ones that are generating a lot of inflows into the ETFs. And that is what helps the price of the asset continue to improve. We are currently at 2.22. It is not the highest price. It is not the ATH of the asset, okay? But in the end we have to start somewhere, and this has done nothing more than start the snowball of ETFs that will gradually grow until
here toward the end of the year, which is what I've been talking about the whole time. A lot of people are getting antsy. We're down to the last 5-6 weeks of the year here, about to move into the holidays, and many people just can't comprehend that price of an asset could move so quickly to the upside from $2 today, where XRP is, up to 3 or 4 digits in that shorter period of time. And normally, under most circumstances, they would absolutely be right. Again, if you do want to go back and watch what I talked about with Johnny and Abs last night, we went into the domino theory, which I've been talking about for 18 months now, that leads to the perfect storm for XRP to move very swiftly. Everything kind of unfolds here toward the end of the year, which is what I've been talking about the whole time. A lot of people are getting antsy. We're down to the last 5-6 weeks of the year here, about to move into the holidays, and many people just can't comprehend that price of an asset could move so quickly to the upside from $2 today, where XRP is, up to 3 or 4 digits.
XRP just surged 24 cents in 24 hours, and this time it's not one single trigger. This is what cumulative pressure looks like when multiple catalysts hit at the same time. First, 2 XRP ETFs launched today. Each one adds fresh demand, market makers, and a new liquidity pool. But here's the part most people are missing. The entire crypto market is rising on expectations of Fed rate cuts, loosening financial conditions across the board. So XRP isn't pumping in isolation. It's getting stacked momentum from both ETFs and macro pressure. And if this pressure keeps building, the real move hasn't even started yet. Make sure you're subscribed. XRP just surged.
So I guess that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs. We'll wrap the show up and look for a XRP video probably this evening, and also a Zipec video probably around 4 or 5 o'clock. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and super chat. And as always, let's get back to the money, guys. Stay dangerous. Miners out.